Hey, my name is Joe, aka Joseph, and I am the art manager for the Mangai series. The thing that drew me in more than anything was the fact that this was an independent animation project. The amount of passion that independent animators put into one small piece of work is something that I understand, that I love. When I got this chance to work for the Mangai series, to make art for it, not only was I going to get the chance to work for an independent animation project, but I was also going to get to draw Bionicles. That was the thing that was that made me so giddy, was this big chance to work in kind of a little dream job.
When I found the project's website and saw that the guiding influences for the Mangai was the work of Genndy Tartakovsky on Samurai Jack and Clone Wars, I knew this was for me. Genndy has directed some of my all-time favorite shows, those two included, and applying that design philosophy to Bionicle felt like a match made in heaven, and I wanted to contribute to that collective vision. As a longtime fan of Bionicle, I've long wanted to see more of its many characters and stories brought to life through different artistic interpretations.
The part of it that's the most inspiring is the story and seeing how all of these disparate elements come together and how we're not only telling a story that works right now, but laying the groundwork for where this story can go next. I'm really excited to see that because I think what we've got in this episode is a cohesive, strong story, but I think we're also laying the groundwork for episode 2 and 3 and potentially an entire arc for these characters. It's really exciting to see.
Putting in the seeds that will then sprout into some horrible man-eating monster plant because it's Bionicle.
This series draws from a storyline in Bionicle that was only ever told in books or web serials. It never received a film, comic, or even an advertisement, and many of these characters never received a LEGO set tie-in. While a handful of characters will be recognizable to fans, many of them will be completely alien to you.
Yeah, a specific thing I'd want people to see that I'm excited about is just the whole Baraka sequence, how we brought those characters to life, how we bring scenes from Legacy of Evil into it, just how much of a new appreciation it can give people for not just the Baraka, but all these characters and this world as a whole. Just the way we've put it all together, how all the artists have just knocked it out of the park.
I guess that's also the cool thing about Bionicle in general, because it's just such a huge timeline. Like with the Mangai Project, you really can get to really see the specific time in the past that where we see characters before we meet them in the movies, for example, and we see things that were alluded to and actually unfold.
I think I'm really excited to have people notice the ways we've woven in some of the previous works. If you're familiar with the Bionicle soundtracks from the movies, you might notice that we've added some motifs for existing characters or concepts to help bridge that gap and ground our musical sound in the existing lore, while still going in our own direction and adding some new flair of our own.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if people notice the musical hints that I try to sprinkle in there.
It'll be good to see how we all as artists have evolved over the production cycle of the Mangai Project. And I hope people can not only expect continued pushing of the boundaries of the medium that Max and co are working in, but also how everyone within the project is getting better and more comfortable in their roles. I hope especially that is appreciated by the audience, that we're all becoming better artists as a result of this project, as a result of it bringing us together. And I think that's a really cool side effect of making something like this.
The thing that I'm most excited about is seeing the artist's fingerprints get put out there, and hopefully seeing people maybe parse the animation and the art a little bit to kind of figure out who made what. Every animator that we had, they followed the style perfectly, but there's always something about their animation that makes it so unique, and I'm hoping that people will parse through it and be like, oh, that's the work of that guy. I've seen his work in other places too. I've seen his demo reel. It's amazing. That's why I stick around. That's the thing that kind of inspires me, is the other artists that I work with.
This is a really unique and cool project, and it can really make a mark on fan projects like this.
To see a Bionicle fan project successfully fundraise to pay animators to bring these stories to life like this, it's rare.
I'm just excited about the release itself, just the giddiness of of seeing the final product be sent out into the world.
yeah, maybe it's a Lego thing, but there's just, something magical about when all the pieces, really finally snap together and you can look at that whole thing as one entity,
There's some very impressive work here, and I can't wait for you to see it all in action.